Yeah, and in terms of war gear, you bought the high-powered shot mastercrafted bolter. He has bought his armor of alacrity for the force commander. That gives him the sprint ability, lets him get into combat much faster. Do you find that useful? I typically don't. I feel like I want to teleport instead of sprint, and even if I have to wait for tier 2, it's worth it just to get the teleport.
Yeah, as a tier 2 investment, it was a very poor idea. In tier 1, it might have helped them to get around my devastators early on, but in tier 2, I don't think that's a little bit too late.
And so he has now seen your Razorback, and I don't know, maybe crapping his pants, maybe not. He bought a Power Fist, and the Power Fist is not a sex toy, despite what it might sound like. It's, I guess he's going to use it to try and take on your vehicle.
Yes, very powerful hero ruler as well. It'll give the edge against most heroes. And it will also knock down the Chaos Lord, which is the only weapon in the game that can knock down Chaos.
Impressive. And also, little known fact, it allows him to do a Hadouken in Street Fighter 4, but unfortunately Force Commander not a very popular choice in Street Fighter 4. So he sticks to punching out your Tech Marine.
Yeah, Tech Marine eats it. He opponent buys snipers on the scouts. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Sure you can! I know how I feel about it. Not very useful against Space Marines. Because you're never going to catch one of their guys, you're never going to do enough damage to kill them outright. They're probably just going to retreat if you buy a sniper rifle. So I mean, not useless, but they're just bad. They're typically bad, right? Like, no one ever should buy sniper rifles. You should not buy sniper rifles.
I would advise this instead.
Alright, you heard it from us, folks.
Right,
if you buy sniper rifles, you're wrong. 10 minutes, 53, 54, 55, 56... We see this Razorback harassing these generators rather well, I would say. That's an interesting choice because it's so fast. If any enemy anti-vehicle show up, you can bug out and, you know, take their generators down. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's also incredibly useful for any troubles with the Hive Tyrant and a Chaos Sword. You can body block Blood Crushers as well.
Unfortunately, you cannot go around running people over, which is something we could do in a Company of Heroes back then.
Yeah, I gotta miss that.
So we've got advanced targeting, advanced targeting on this Devastator Marine squad you have in the north. Any specific reason that you buy that?
Well, usually what happens with the attacking armies in the Double Devastator build is they will soak up the damage from the first one, and then try to jump on the first one. But once I get used to that, I tend to make the most of that first engagement. So I'll turn on the heavy damage. They'll soak up a lot of damage incoming, and because the trick is already gone.
So even though they're able to jump in and disrupt your Devastator, you've done so much damage with the Vengeance rounds that doesn't even matter.
Correct.
Very interesting. And I saw you very briefly put your Devastators into the Razorback. I would like to point that out to people just because Razorback is also a transport, and I have like never seen it used as a transport.
That was also an accident.
Yeah, so I guess that's why you got out immediately after that. But yes, remember people, you can drive around with people inside the Razorback, and it's good for more than just getting them killed when the Razorback dies.
Did pick off a retreating Devastator with the Power Fist. Extremely good killer for that, and kind of takes away from the demon.
Yeah, and very interesting animations too. Half the time he does this very Street Fighter 4 punch, and the other time he tries to backhand them with the Power Fist, which seems to kind of defeat the purpose. But, you know, I'm not a Force Commander. I am not telling him what to do.
Yeah,
I mean, get a haircut. I'm telling him to do that. The Codex Astartes calls this maneuver shutting up.
I also picked up the Force Commander helmet mod. Very highly recommend.
Yeah, on the one hand, that's of course the mod that replaces his stupid face with a normal Space Marine helmet. But you know, I feel like if I buy that mod, I won't want to kill him as much when I'm fighting against him.
But thankfully, I also won't want to kill him as much when I'm using it.
Yeah, that's definitely an upside to that. And of course, these Sniper Rifle Scouts not able to do anything against the Razorback because. Despite having sniper rifles, they cannot shoot through this slit and hit whoever is piloting that. And then jump inside the Razorback and steal it and drive off into the sunset. I dream about these things.
You can see how most of his units aren't doing anything. The attack marines especially still useful.
But he has bought a teleporter pack for his Force Commander, so that plus the Power Fist means he's going to be able to surprise rape pretty much anything that can't immediately get away from him, like the Razorback. the Razorback can get away. Anything else can't. But he is charging at the Razorback, so we'll have to see if he gets a whack in. Something said rear armor hit. I'm guessing that's just a plasma pistol, which doesn't do shit.
And the scouts will take care of him.
So yeah, really the only thing he has that can hurt your Razorback is either Vengeance rounds on his upgraded Devastator Marine squad or the Plasma squad. I've never even seen Vengeance rounds used against the vehicle just because I never played this game. Are they effective, do you find?
They are extremely effective, especially against Blood Crushers. The trouble is keeping the fire sustained on the vehicle, and in a Razorback, it usually will not.
Alright, so you need something like a melted bomb out of those Space Marines or something like that. Or maybe a Orb of the Omnissiah from your Tech Marine. Any vehicle caught in that is not going to move for quite a while.
The Orb is incredibly good. It should be used.
I've always wondered about the name, the Omnissiah. Who's that guy? And why does he have an orb? And why does it hurt vehicles?
I guess that puts him in the race for the Jesus heroes, right?
Yeah, definitely. We've got Messiah in the name. That's almost enough. Or Nissiah. Not really sure how it's spelled. Alright, well, this guy is basically fucked because, would you say, unable to counter the devs? Was that his biggest issue? I kind of haven't been watching the game. I've been watching my hand move.
He lost it. He lost. Couldn't push the tier 1, which is where the Force Commander is supposed to push, and he's kind of left on.
Yeah, I mean, other mistakes I would say were not being able to take the Razorback out in any appreciable fashion, buying Tactical Marines when he didn't really need them, didn't even get the missile launcher, so that might have been able to take the Razorback, and also buying sniper rifles on the scouts. Just a litany of errors, I would say.
The thing
the
about
Codex
the
Astartes calls us making mistakes.
It freaks them out. It forces mistakes. You kind of have to wonder, how do I deal with these Devastators? I can't jump at it. So they try, they try sniper rifles to hit it from a distance, or a plasma cannon from a distance. Of course, I can just field my own plasma cannon.
So that's the double Devastator build, folks. The Codex Astartes calls this maneuver "buy a lot of Devastators."
Always the Terminators for the final nail.
Yeah, the Terminators. Hey, they're named Terminators, so they remind me of Arnold Schwarzenegger too. For those of you who watched our previous cast, I didn't even think about that. I always just figured the autocannon was like the minigun. No, this is getting off topic.
See? Okay.
Exactly, and so there was that little shot from the Mastercrafted Bolter on those Assault Marines on the left. Nice chunk out of their health, but reinforcing the idea that sniper rifles and things like that not so fantastic in Space Marines because it doesn't kill them and they can always just retreat. Speaking of retreat, this scout with the sniper rifle is gonna die. He's dead.
Yeah, he's really left without a cog. That'll be neat.
I find scouts to be surprisingly squishy as the game goes on, even with the sergeant, but that's the playback over, so do you have anything you want to point out on the map before we go to the point screen?
Not particularly. I feel like everybody, just as a note, should try using suppression weapons in their game, because it will introduce a new level of play that will force him to react, and you never want to be on the reaction, as it will just assume that you're one step. Alright,
and we'll see what the point screen has to say about that. Exit game, are you sure you want to quit? Yes, because I know you're lying. I'm not actually quitting. They need to change that.
Agreed.
Alright, so we have Commander level 2, you'll notice, and only one Commander kill this entire game. He managed to kill your Tech Marine, so we see Commander's really not doing quite a bit, and that's probably reflecting badly on the Force Commander, because you want him to be killing a lot of stuff?
Yeah, you want him to have an active presence. You might see numbers from the Tech Marine, because he's kind of the support guy, but the Force Commander, you really want him to be high level and high impact.
And we take a look at the power collected. You collected twice as much power, and I guess that's just a reflection of him really not being able to harass you, not being able to push his way onto the map, because you had all these suppression around, and he just wasn't able to fight through it.
Control the threat, and then you can worry about elimination. He couldn't control me, so he couldn't harass.
Alright guys, you heard it here first. The secret to winning is do whatever he just said.
Yep, and I just want to thank everybody for listening, and hopefully you'll see this Devastator and give it a shot.